Hello, this video will show how to work with Garmin premium level MFDs and chart plotters and network video sources. So here we have three Garmin premium series chart plotters, the 7607, 7608, and the 8500 in the back. Likewise, for video sources, we have the FLIR M618 camera with dual output, both VIR and IR only. And then we have the Axis 4-channel video encoder. You see three of the signals hooked up. Two are coming from the same FLIR camera we just saw, and the last one's coming from a standard composite output camera. And then we have the FLIR F44 main unit inside the box here. It feeds from 4 video inputs that are mounted on the outside of the box. And then we have an Axis fixed dome camera there. So returning back to our chart plotter, if we select the AV controls here and select video, this will bring up, it was actually in a quad mode to begin with, but if we want, we can select the P3905. That brings that up there. That was actually something that had been renamed, and we can bring it back to its regular name here and get rid of the special name it had and just call it P3905 and save. Then we will see that name anytime from there. So we can select any video source we want. You see the F44 has a 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the separate outputs that are coming from each of these. Likewise, there's a quad output that shows all 4 at the same time. So if we show a few of these, there's the first F44, there's the 4th one, there's the quad again. Now these M618, those are actually the ones that are going through the Axis encoder to get a digital signal. So there's the VIR. This is on visible, but it can be switched to infrared. Back to visible. There was a separate input, remember, that had just the IR only. We can pick that. There's a special mode where we can start switching between any number of these signals that we want. So we can select the P3905, one of the F44, and the quad, and start to let that go. And this will switch between those different video inputs automatically. Okay, so if we turn off the alternate and go back to the 3905 on this, we can select that same Axis P3905 on any of our network chart plotters. So if we go down to AV on this one, go to video, and source the P3905, that brings up the same that we have up there. And on this one, bring up video and P3905. Then we can make things interesting, just like we had the quad signals automatically coming out of the F44. We can create our own combination. If we go to the home screen and combos, we can say add a combo. It'll ask us how many functions. Say we want 4 functions. And there we can select them to be different things. They don't all have to be video, but we can do 4 videos if we want. The P3905 in the upper quadrant. Then we can select the clear VIR that's capable of visible or IR in that bottom quadrant. And for the third, we'll choose one of the F44 outputs. And for the fourth, we'll put another video and make it the IR only so we can have side by side. And then we can say we're done. And then it shows us all four at the same time. And you can see there we go, showing all four updating. We can select any one that we want and it makes it full screen. The FLIR camera is a PTZ, so we can do easy drags to control the movement. You can zoom with pinch. Any of the movement can be done by tapping on the screen to bring up these controls as well, if that's easier than dragging on the screen. And then you'll see controls for presets. If we have something that we want to save as a preset, we can hold it down until the green light lights up, and then we can move to a different place and make that another preset. Then we can recall the first settings by going to preset 1 and preset 2. Anytime we want to go back to the quad setup that we made there. This works in conjunction with all of our standard chart plotter setup, so we can edit the combo and tell it that we are wanting to switch the video here to a navigation chart and change the third one to a radar signal. So now we're really getting use of all the functions that are capable in the plotter with the video at the same time. Go back to here, we can do some zooming in and back out. Then we can freeze the signal at any point, and it's frozen, and we can unfreeze. There's some more advanced features exposed in the video setup for mirroring, and that's good for when you have a rear-facing camera on your boat. Thank you. Here are some advanced things you can do with video on the chart plotter. If we go into our video modes here and we select a source, and we can select the P3905, then we can bring up here, you can see any of the home position or presets there, as well as we can do rotation. So we can make it 90 degrees depending on how it was mounted, 0 degrees. This one was mounted upside down, so when you get back to 180 to have it look correct. We can change the aspect ratio here to do standard. See how that looks there. Likewise, we can go back if we want to make it stretch. That fills up the area there. So likewise here we can change we can change the brightness of the scroll there. There's similar controls here as you see for saturation, contrast, and white balance. The name can be changed on any video input source to make it called anything you like. We can add temp at the end here to call there, done. Then whenever we go into our source, we can see that it's called temp. There's quad outputs coming from the F44 main unit. Likewise, there's a quad signal that came from the encoder itself, the M7014. We see only 3 of them are connected. We got the 3 signals plus a blank 4th. You can freeze any signal. And so you capture something and then tell it to unfreeze. If we go to back to the FLIR coming through the encoder, some of its advanced functionality supports the switching between the IR and the visible. There's the IR and back to visible. The FLIR can cycle through different color modes on it. Things that are normally accessed through the FLIR joystick are all exposed through the interface here, changing the scene. Likewise, you can freeze or unfreeze. You can go back to visible there. Thank you.